Welcome to RidgeLife. I'm Tim, and today we are once again back on the ridge working in our off-grid solar power shed. We have 3 EG4 6000 XP inverters, and guys, we've got 2 EG4 server racks with 6 LL-S batteries in each one. But unfortunately, guys, all these batteries gotta go. These EG4 LL-S batteries are amazing. Why must they go, you ask? Is it because they don't work? Well, no, they do work. You see, that's powering up right now. We got a 3/4% state of charge. Look at this. That looks amazing. Why am I getting rid of all 12 of these batteries? Well, I'm not really getting rid of them. I said they must go. And the reason they must go is we've got tons of conduit we've got to run along this back wall over here. We've got a mini split right here. The condenser unit's outside. We got to get a disconnect out there. We got to put a receptacle in, run some conduit around, put another receptacle in for our lights, and get it all tied in to that 200 amp panel. So yes, all these batteries got to go. Stepping outside the power shed, we can see we've got our EG4 9,000 BTU mini split. It is running. That's right, guys. It is running, keeping it nice and warm inside there. But as you can tell, we're on temporary power. Over there, I got a solar generator keeping it running right now while we're building inside the solar shed. So what we've got to get done is right here on the wall, I need to mount a non-fused disconnect for this. So that's got to keep it up to code, guys. We do get electrical inspections here in West Tennessee. So we're going to get I got a whip coming down. We got a disconnect right here. And then inside, I'll show you what else we got. Here we can see all the materials we'll be installing today, starting off with this Ultra whip. It's a non-metallic liquid type whip, 1/2 inch, 4 foot long, does use 10 gauge wire. It's got black and red. Our mini split is 120 volt. It's not 220, so it's only 120 volt. So we got 10 gauge black and red, and we also have a 10 gauge green. It does come with a straight and a 90 connector already built into this whip. These whips are really nice. They're already pre-made up. Now that will be feeding into this 60 amp non-fusible pull-out AC disconnect, air conditioner disconnect. Now, I really don't need 60 amp. This is a little bitty 9,000 BTU unit, but this does meet all the requirements we'll need to get everything connected. On the inside, we'll have this Tamac 3-hole outlet box. We'll go through the wall out to this disconnect on the other side of the wall, and you can see these have all the little 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch reducer plugs, and pretty much has everything I need. I got 2 of those. I've got some 20 amp receptacles, and I do have some oversized face plates, everything in green. For mounting to the 240 panel when we go inside, we will need some of these lock nuts, and I've got 3/4 inch hangers. You already saw the conduit. We've got conduit down there, 3/4 inch conduit. And I have some 90s. I'm gonna be a little unconventional today when I do this, but we will make it happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just on the other side of this wall right here, you can go outside, just on the other side of the wall below the air conditioner, I've got a stud right here. I'm going to mount this electrical box, receptacle box right here. Just on the other side of it will be this disconnect, which should be 4 feet to the condenser unit. It should be fine. We'll come out of there, we'll 90 out, I do believe, of the bottom, right? We'll come out of the bottom, run 3/4 inch conduit around behind the batteries. That's why we get these batteries must go. Get all these out of there. We'll 90 around the corner. 90 around the corner. Come up 90 up here to an electrical box right here. I do got a stud right here, so we can mount it right next to it. I can be able to plug in my sensor lights. These are LED lights, and I've got this automatic sensor. There's no switch on the wall. No switch on the wall over there. You just walk in, these lights come on. We'll be able to plug them, instead of having our temporary power, we'll be able to plug it in right there to our main power coming from our inverters. And then we'll just take this box straight into the side, and then we'll have a little 120 amp breaker, single pole breaker in here for that. Right now, we can see we don't have anything in there. So that is the plan for today. Let's get it done. Each one of these battery racks weighs about 700 pounds. There's 600 pound plus batteries in here, plus the rack itself. But luckily it's on casters, so I can just move it around. Luckily my floor is strong enough to support it. Put these over here, right up against the inverters there. Let's see if I can get this one. Oh my goodness, these things are heavy. I think these will be fine sitting over here. Boy, I sure am glad these things are on casters. All right, so now I've got to, we'll start by drilling a hole through the wall once we know exactly where our disconnect's going to be. Mount our disconnect, take care of that part. Then we'll come in here, mount that box on the inside. I think we'll mount this box here and then start working on connecting all the conduit appropriately. At least that's what I plan on doing. I don't profess to be a residential electrician. I'll tell you that right now. I've got over 30 years experience in naval nuclear electrical power generation and industrial electrical power generation and automation. But this residential stuff, this solar stuff, it's new to me. I'm learning as I go. So I'll make sure I reference the NEC. And if you have any suggestions, oh, Tim, you're messing it up, leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll correct it before the inspector gets here. Appreciate you. Our receptacle boxes have little tabs, little holes in them. And I want to mount these tabs on a stud, and then I'll have the conduit come just next to the stud. So I know I've got a stud right here and right here. So 16 inches apart. So this would be, it's like about 20, it's about 29 inches, 28 inches. And this one is about 44 inches. 44 inches from the inside that wall. So I'll have to measure the thickness of that wall there. So that way, when I go outside, I'll know roughly which one I want to mount it on. Still not quite sure. All depends on that condenser unit outside, how far it is over. So just so I can reference, 28, and it should be 16 over, right? So about 44. All right, let's go outside, take a look at that. All right, so I added up the distance from the edge. We're about 48, 49 inches. I got a batten right here, so I'm just gonna be to the right of the batten. So take my disconnect about right there. And so let's see. I know that'll fit there. Let me see how high it needs to be. Probably go use the straight here, straight out the bottom, and then I'll do 90 into the side there. So probably about right there. Again, just so I see, there's a hole right there. All right. Go ahead and mark that height. I want it probably about right there. And that should do it. I will use a hanger because I'll be 12 inches, within 12 inches of the going into the box. I'll have to put a hanger on that conduit. I won't need it down here since it's unsupported. So come here a little closer and I'll show you what this disconnect looks like. So if you've never seen one of these AC disconnects, they just got a little hinged lid right here. And that stays open. Pop off this cover here. See right there is where the ground will go. I'm gonna do this side knockout. We'll bring the power in. Let's see, the power can go in probably one of these bottom ones right here. You bring the wires in there. We got lines. The line goes in here. That's the incoming power. This is a non-fused disconnect. So basically when you slide it like this, it is off, right? Off. And basically that puts the electrical connections above the terminals down there. But whenever you turn it to the on, it slides in and it makes electrical connections so that it's in the circuit. right? So I'm gonna do this knockout, one of these right here to go through the wall. And you can see up here at the top, right there, there's a slotted screw, so I can put the first screw in, hang it, and then I can just put a couple more in the bottom and mount it securely. So that is pretty much it. Guys, this EG4 mini split is running. It is so quiet. So quiet. All right, so let's go ahead and mark where I want the screw to be. Right there. Put our first one in. That should just hang right there on it. All right. Should just hang. There we go. So that marks that spot. So now I need to knock out a hole right here, and I'm just going to be doing a half inch for the this is half inch, and half inch to the box over there. We'll go 3/4 inch since I have 2 circuits in it. 3/4 inch with these 12 gauge wires should be just fine. So I got to knock that out and mark where that is. So let's go ahead and get that knocked out there. Again, just the half inch. See, just pop out. I love these knockouts. These knockouts make it so easy. All right. Hang that back on there. Right there. And that should be. Make sure I get it, everything's level. Right there. All right. So now, knowing that, now I don't have any wires or pipes or anything in here, so I'm not going to cut anything. But if you did, you definitely want to make sure. So I got my hole saw here. All the way through. Make sure it's straight. Oh, whoa, there's some pink insulation. All right, so that will allow me to get my hole saw in here. That was a paddle bit. This is the hole saw. Okay. Right on the center there. Make sure I get it right up. Backwards. There we go. Whew. Probably could have gone a little bit smaller since I'm just doing the half inch. Be all right though. All right, so here's my stud right here. There's my hole. That's pretty good. Now, going with a little bit bigger hole saw does give me a little bit more room to mount, to move my conduit around, so I ain't too bad with that. I will silicone the hole on the outside there so nothing gets in. So let me go ahead and get this one on. All right, we are all the way through. So the distance all the way through the inside locked in is about 4 1/8. So I need a 4 1/8 inch piece of half inch conduit here. 4 1/8 inch. Let's go ahead and mark that. 4 1/8 right there. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this. 4 1/8. If I can get it right there. Alrighty, 4 1/8. Now I'm just going to dry fit this. Dry fit these fittings here. So that slide in there, goes all the way through, and then goes in the back of there. I got to do the bigger knockout there. So that's just a little bit big there. So pop out this inside one there. Should just pop right out. There we are. Come on now. Flip it over on the inside. Probably use my smaller. There we go. Come on now. Come on. Ugh. All right, got that cleaned up there. That should fit smoothly. It does. All right, so now, I guess I need to put this in here first. Again, this is all just dry fit. Okay, slide this on the screw, and that should pop in there. Eeks! I gotta pull it out. I got it stuck. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see if I can pull it out with this. I can. Yes. All right. A little too far. Here we go. Get in the hole. Get in my belly. Oh, just a, there we go. There we go. Alrighty. I got a 1/2-inch nut. Come over here, I'll show you what we got. Use a screwdriver to tighten that. Again, I'm dry fitting here, guys, so I'm gonna come back and silicone everything a little bit later. But just wanna make sure everything fits, and then once I'll get all the silicone, fill in the gaps in, and also use my PVC cement. So now I gotta knock out this side, but go ahead and get the screws, the rest of the screws in the inside the panel here first while everything is lined up properly. Go ahead and do this one. And I can get this one. Oops, don't drop it, Tim, don't drop it. All right, tighten up the top one. All right, that looks good. Now I just gotta get this knockout on the side here done. Get the side knockout. That was much easier than the other one was. And here's my conduit. Get the nut off of here. Again, I'm not gonna wire this up today. But I'm gonna get this put through here. And that should go right in there. I'm gonna go ahead and, do I need this? I'll go ahead and put it on there for a little extra stability, but really don't. Get that nut on there. Screwdriver really do a good job of getting these on. All right, I gotta get this flex up in here. Twist, twist, twist. All right, so now I can, whenever I have power available, I'll be able to make this termination in here, but I'm not gonna do that today. We'll just tape this up, keep it nice and clean, get everything, again, I'm dry fitting. So now we can move to the inside. All right, got just enough thread sticking out right here. I got my single gang box. Now I will need a reducer because it's 3/4 inch here and that's 1/2 inch. So I should be able to screw this on. Again, dry fit only. I'm going to come back with PVC glue. I think I've said that a few times now, right? Because I know I have a bunch of people, you didn't glue it, you didn't glue it. I know. But I'll just be able to pull this off, put some glue on it, and put it right back on, give it a twist. But at least this will get me right where I need to be. Twist, twist, twist right there. All righty. Now the top, I'm gonna come out of the bottom with my 3/4 inch elbow and go over that way. So I got a blank right here. I'm gonna put this blank in the top because I do not need, make sure everything's lined up straight. Electricians say all screws have to be perpendicular because a cattywampus plate screw, electricity does not flow if the plate screw is not on straight. You'll hear me say that a few times throughout this build when you're doing electrical boxes and stuff. All right, so let me see. That should be about straight right there. Let me get some screws. And luckily, I've got lines to let me know exactly where my straight is. One. Everything lined up here. Should be right there. There's studs right there, so that's good. Make nice and straight. It does. And one more. Right there. Just get them up to it. There we go. All right. Nice and secure. So now we got the outside box mounted. We got the whip mounted. I still need to mount the whip to the wall out there. But now we can start coming out with our 3/4 inch. It's getting exciting. All right, so this should go perfectly right there. Again, I need to be within 12 inches. So let's see. From the box, that's down up to there. So yeah, right there should be good. Go right there. Put that one right there on that. I want to make sure I keep it straight below it. I think that looks pretty good right there. Come on, stay straight right there. All right, that looks wonderful. Gives me more than enough room for that right there. Of course, I'll come back to that later. Let's go ahead and we're done. Right now, we're done out here. Let me go ahead and get this put back together. And we'll get back on the inside and run that conduit, make it all pretty and everything. Whew. Make a loop, Tim, make a loop. Nothing's ever as easy as it seems. There we go. Fuse, or the non-fusible in the off position. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. Look at that. Now we'll have to have a sticker on there, but right now, that looks wonderful. So now I gotta figure out how long a piece of 3/4 inch conduit I need between here and the corner down there. So I got my 3/4 inch fitting. Screw that in the bottom. Again, just dry fit this in here. There we go. Against the wall. Tape measure. Come down here. So, we're gonna have we need it like that. Make sure I get it straight. So it needs to be right at that line there. Okay, so that line there, all the way down inside that piece of conduit. Look at that, that works perfectly. That line there. So, if I do, it'll be 85 inches. I need an 85-inch piece of conduit, and that would fit right up, let's see. No, let's go 86, so I can go into the inside the fitting there. I need to go 86. Yep, 86. See if I can cut this fairly straight. Come on now. Perfect. Now, let's go do another dry fit. Clean the inside of this out. There we go. Let's hope it fits. Slide it up. In there. Come on now. Slide it in here. Oh yeah. Look at that. Make sure I get it straight. Perfect. It even holds in place. Oh, man. Matter of fact, let me get a level, and I'll put some straps on that now. We are 13 1/4. Gonna go 13 1/4. 3/4. Let's see, about halfway is right here, isn't it? So it has to come up, be a little supported a little bit more. Let's get my level on here. Alrighty, that should help me. Get one right in the center. I've already marked where the center of the conduit is. That should be good. Slide that right over there. There we are. Alright, gotta get it level. Gotta get it good. Level. Level right. There is level. Come on, Timmy. You can do this. You can do it. Right there. You got this. Push. All right. And that is level. All right, so now, make sure it is nice and good and level. All right. Come down on this end. Same thing. Get within a foot or so of the edge. I'm going to tape measure at here. We'll just say 12 inches right there. Upside down. Upside down. You're turning me. Inside out. Get level. Right there is level. Awesome. Right. Screw. Oops. Still level? Yeah. Alrighty. Perfect. Let's come down here. Do the same thing. Let's see. Just got one more somewhere. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I lost it. I lost it. Where'd it go? I got one right here. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know what I do with it. Oh, it was in my hand the entire time. Oh, Tim, you're an idiot. Tim, you're an idiot. I do things like that sometimes. I do. All right. So that's totally just right there. All right. Let's see. I gotta come up on this end. That's all right. Looks pretty good. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. I do say so myself. Now that we got that looking mighty fine, I'm just going to come over here, curve up, and go in right here to the bottom knockout. Then I put the receptacle about right here. I'm going to put it right in line with the light sensor that goes to our lights up there. Put that right in there so that I just need to knock this knockout out, mount the box right here, and then I'll just do the conduit going over. Cover off, and you actually missed me knock this knockout out here. I took this cover off, knocked the knockout all on camera, and forgot the microphone was still on the other camera, or the mic adapter. So you missed me with the knockout, but it's pretty simple. All I did was knock it out. So this 3/4 inch will go right on here, and this box needs to be right in line with this switch right here. So this one doesn't have side knockouts, and I don't want to do it sideways. So let's see. Probably gonna have to, let's see here. Yeah, I'll probably gonna have to do an adapter down. Yeah. So put it right there, And then I'll just need a little extension tube right there, fitting right there. That should work good. And then we'll come up from the bottom. Not a problem. So this is going to be right there in the center. So this needs to be 5 inches long. That'll give me enough to slide on, or maybe 4 3/4. Make it 4 3/4, and that'll be perfect. 4 3/4 right there. Should be good. 4 3/4. Should fit. Cross my fingers. All right, well, this piece fit in there nice and tight, nice and tight. Let's see, it's got to go in here, it's got to go in here. Slide that on there. Oh yeah, right in the center there. Look at that. So screw this on, turn this around. Screw that on. Oh baby, this is all fitting together so nicely. Okay, so that is good there. Oh, gotta put this little plug on here. Got a screwdriver right there. Make sure everything is plugged up and straight. Electrons won't flow right if the line's not straight, people. I'm serious. All right, so let's get this tightened up. All right. That should screw right on there. All right, I got this tube on there. I'm gonna have to cut some of this off. So this is gonna go on here. Slide down that. So this is going to go on here. So, and it's going to be right in line with that right there. So I need to cut off, let's see, for this one, again, right in line with that. So to right there, which is, let's see, 6.5 inches. Yeah, I cut off about 6.5 inches off that one. And then this one to go in, so that's going to have, oh yeah, it's going to go in like that. So this one needs to have 6.5 inches also. So 6.5 inches off both of these. All right, is this going to work? Let's make sure we get everything lined up. Get this one in here. And that has to go on there. Let me tilt this one on. I don't like the letters. I don't like the letters showing on my conduit. Get that slide up on there. Oh yeah, get this up in there. Oh, that looks pretty good. I think I just gotta pull this out just a little bit, and that will, oh yeah, that lines up perfectly. All right, we got it all lined up. That's pretty straight right there, pretty straight right there. I can make sure it's nice and level when I put my fastener on. That looks straight. So let me go ahead and put my fasteners in the receptacle there, and then I'll put my straps on, and we're ready to put some receptacles in. Not gonna tighten them down too tight because I have to move something. Again, this is dry fit, no PVC cement done. I've mentioned it 1,000 times. I will come back, get it all secure later. All right, that looks great. Let's get some hangers on. Get the level on there. Ooh, that's pretty darn level, if I do say so myself. All right, get this first one on. Where my screws go. Let's see, I'd say about right. That about even? I think it is. Oh, upside down, Tim. Okay, get that down below. Make sure my level. Perfect. All right, now. About right. Oops, upside down again. I'd say about right there. The level is amazing. And same thing. Right about here. I think I'll go, yeah, I'll go on the bottom, back side. I'll go on the back side. I think I'll do one right there. You know I'm putting more hangers than I'm probably required to do. Actually, I know that I am, because I did look up the requirement, but I'm still gonna be happy with how I did it. Okay, within 12 inches. Let's see. Let's do it right there. Right there. Makes it. Oh, dropped it. Getting tired, Tim. You're getting tired. You ain't looking at my bald spot, are you? Did I get a bald spot? I didn't wear a hat today. It was windy. I think I need a haircut too. But wow, look at that, guys. Look at that. Let's get some receptacles in there. All right, here is the other great debate. Do you do the receptacle ground up or ground down? Okay, I am on the school or thought process of ground up. Now let me explain why. You'll see this a lot in hospitals too. If the plug that's plugged into the receptacle comes partially out, and the line and neutral are exposed. You look down, you see the silver and the big plug and the little plug, little prongs. If something falls down on cross those, you get a short circuit. Pow! Blows up in your face. But if it pulls out partially and something metal falls down, or you touch when you go to grab it, you touch the ground, right? And if you touch the ground, that's not going to shock you, right? You touch the plus and minus, or you get metal across it, going to shock you. Now, if you get from the hot, this little skinny one, to the ground, and you duck that, it'll be a short circuit to ground, and the breaker will trip immediately, right? Instead of going through you. So my thought process is always ground up. I know a lot of people nowadays do ground down. If you have a reason why to do one or the other, let me know in the comments. I would be very, very curious what your thought process is. Now, I know I can break off these tabs too. I'm not wiring these up today. I'm just getting them in there, right? This is rough in. I'm not even running the wires just yet. So it's pre-rough in. So we just want to see what it looks like. We want to see what it looks like, Tim. Can we see? Can we see what it looks like? Ooh, don't strip it out, Tim. All right. A little bit more. Make sure it's straight. Okay, now let's get the cover on here. And I did buy oversized covers, so I wouldn't have anything exposed. And you like how I did everything gray, you know? I got all the gray raceway and everything, and I'm just trying to keep everything looking nice and tidy. Not hot toddy. That's Ole Miss, and we're Hail State here on the Ridge. My son Morgan goes to Mississippi State, so we're not hotty toddy. We're Hail State. Go Dogs! All right, so let's get this lined up. And again, if I put this screw right here diagonal, the electrons will not flow. It's like block. No, can't do. You got to be parallel to the ground, to the earth, or perpendicular. And guys, I am a perpendicular kind of guy. I like it straight up and down, just like that. And doesn't that look amazing? I love it. once again, I do ground up. Not ground beef, but ground up. Don't strip it out, Tim. There we go. Again, these are 20 amp receptacles. I am feeding 12 gauge wire, my 20 amp breaker. And I'm gonna run it, these two receptacles off one 20 amp breaker. So they will have the full 20 amp available. And they will effectively be in parallel. And then the HVAC, the mini split, will have its own 20 amp breaker as well. So I'll have extra 12 gauge wires running through here. That's exactly why I had to do 3/4 inch. Originally, I bought 1/2 inch conduit for this job. And I laid in bed one night going, Tim, you're gonna have to derate the breaker. If you do that, you're gonna put a 15 amp breaker in there. Even though if you're using 12 gauge wire, Tim, you're going to have to put a 15 amp breaker in there because I already bought 12 gauge wire. And so it's cheaper just for you to buy the correct 3/4 inch conduit than change breakers, change wire, or anything. And I wanted the full 20 amp. So we got 20 amp going out to the HVAC unit mini split. And then I got 20 amp going to these two receptacles here. Now we will have receptacles on the outside. Those will be GFCI, ground fault current interrupter, ground fault circuit interrupter, ground circuit. You get the drift. GFI, GFCI. But these aren't, because these are indoors, dry location. I don't need these too tight. This is just to see what the cover looks like and get everything on there. What did I do with the screwdriver? What did I do with the screwdriver? It's right over there. Okay. Get this. 1 second. Screwdriver. And of course, if one receptacle mounting plate screw in the house is vertical, they all must be vertical. The entire house, room for room, must be vertical. Boom. That looks amazing. Yeah. All right, so let me do this, guys. Let me clean my mess up, and I'll get the GoPro, and we'll walk around and see what we've done today. And I'm excited. Start off back out here at the mini split. Everything looks amazing. Now, I did not make the final termination for power from the wall. I'm still on the blue temporary cable. Once I get the solar completely done, we'll be able to power this mini split off the 200 amp panel inside. Now, this looks amazing. Let's see if I can get this open. There we go. Again, the wires aren't terminated inside of there. There's no wires, but let's go inside the power shed. See what we got in here. Ooh, guys, looky here. Looky here. Woo-hoo. We got our receptacle, conduits run, receptacle there, run. That looks amazing. Let's get some regular light in here so this LEDs don't cause those black lines. But yeah, look at that. Oh man, there you go, backed up view right there. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get these batteries back where they go. Oh my goodness, 700 pounds. Now I don't want to push and bust my conduit in the corner there. I'm gonna have 2-inch conduit coming out of this for the heavy duty welding cables, battery cables. And so I'll have a couple inch gap over here on this wall for that. So I should be able to go straight back. And that leaves me a good gap right there. I mean, guys, that's not even touching that conduit hardly because of the baseboard. Oh yeah, that looks, I mean, that's perfect. Perfect. Ugh. Oh, yeah. All right. Amazing. I still need to sweep in here, but I am happy. Well, we didn't have to get rid of our EG4 LL-S batteries, but we did have to move them because they were in the way. But got them back where they go now. Everything looks nice and tidy. We've got a double receptacle right here. We got a double receptacle over there. And of course we have the mini split AC disconnect outside completed. One more thing off. Oh, actually, check this out. I got my my pencil. Huh. Off the list, marked off the list. When we come back, I've got more conduit and things to install. I mean, this job is not near done yet. We've got trenches to dig and conduit to bury. Then, of course, we've got cables to pull and terminate, power things up. We've got rapid shutdown switches to install, and just so much more to do here in this power shed. Hopefully you have been excited about it as I am. Every day I come out here, I sit here and giggle and go, yeah, this is a journey. And hopefully you're enjoying this journey. If you are, give it a big old thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. It's always 100% free. Hit that notification bell right down there. Make it solid to be notified anytime a new video comes out on one of our channels. Guys, until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed day, and go Ridge Life. Woo! See you later.